Today is Friday, February 6th, 2026. Yes, it's actually Friday this time, not like yesterday. And today is National Chopstick Day, which celebrates two very simple tools that somehow still come with rules. Welcome to This Day in History from, wait, that's random. I'm your host, C.L. Burns. On this date in 1286, the first written mention of eyeglasses appears in Europe. And what's interesting about this is it isn't about the invention itself, it's how quietly it changed things. Before eyeglasses, losing your sight usually meant losing usefulness. Reading became difficult, detailed work became impossible, and aging had very clear professional limits. Eyeglasses didn't make people smarter, they just let them keep participating. Knowledge somehow became accessible for longer. Experience stayed relevant, and improvement happened so gradually that it barely felt like a revolution, which is often how the most permanent changes arrive. That same quiet shift shows up again on this date centuries later, in 1909. It's when the first electric toaster was introduced for home use. And yes, it's just toast, but it's also automation. Before this, making breakfast required attention. You watched the bread. You flipped it. You burned it occasionally. Electric toasters applied that heat evenly and predictably, sort of. They removed judgment from a small daily task, and once that happened, expectations changed. Convenience doesn't announce itself. It just shows up and then never leaves. No one demanded electric toasters. But once they existed, not having one felt inconvenient. And once convenience becomes normal, the next thing we usually do is start recording things differently. And speaking of which, in 1975, the first digital camera prototype was demonstrated. It didn't use film, it stored images electronically. You all know how that works. And by modern standards, the pictures were terrible. Low resolution, long processing time, and hardly impressive. So it was dismissed. But the important part wasn't image quality, it was the separation of photography from physical media. Photos no longer required film. They no longer required development. They no longer required patience. Images became data. And once images became data, memory changes. Pictures stop being precious. They become plentiful. Moments are captured automatically instead of intentionally. When you line these three moments up, a pattern starts to appear. Seeing improves participation. Automation removes friction. Digital tools refine memory. We invent tools to make life easier, and then we forget how life worked before them. Normal moves very quickly. Anyway, those are the things that caught my attention today. Stop by tomorrow and we'll see how it falls. If you want to know more about me or the work I do, you can find everything at waitthat'srandom.com. I'm C.L. Burns, and I appreciate you stopping by.